This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
You are watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters' two-time award-winning YCN Football Game of the Week. Today we're on the campus of the University of New Hampshire for the Division II championship game, pitting the top-seeded and undefeated Bobcats of Plymouth against the third-ranked Broncos of Alvirne High School. The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion in 10 locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. My TV, airing every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI. Watch their new season with Law & Order Criminal Intent, Chicago PD, Dateline, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort. They say we are familiar, we are warm, and we are fun. We are Sunapee. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948, committed to crafting the finest quality jewelry for our customers. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist for the most complete line of energy products. And enjoy a level of superior customer and on-site service. And by Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wildcat Stadium on the campus of University of New Hampshire in Durham, New Hampshire for this afternoon's Division II New Hampshire State Final football game. Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Stout. I'll be joined shortly by my broadcast partner Andrew Zerhide. And before we get to the teams, both of these squads come into it on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to history. Plymouth Bobcats obviously have been here plenty of times, the two-time defending champions, while the Alvirne Broncos have never won a playoff game until this year when they recorded their first victory, first semifinal appearance, and now their first championship appearance. And Andrew, as we look at these squads, both finishing the year strong, Plymouth coming off a big win last week, Alvirne on a late last-second win. What should we look for from the Broncos today?
Yeah, so Alvirne, we're going to be keeping an eye on their sophomore quarterback, Kyle Gore. He's going to be throwing the ball a ton here. And his junior receivers, Jack Regan and Kyle Boucher, they're going to be his main targets. Really, I expect the Broncos to be keeping to the air, but you've got to watch their running game as well.
All right, and for the Bobcats of Plymouth, like we said, they've been here, two-time defending champs, undefeated season, a big win against Sauhegan last week. Who should we watch for today?
Yeah, so for the Bobcats, they're going to be more of a running team. Their senior running back, Owen Brickley, is going to be leading the squad, as well as Patrick Mom. They're going to be picking up a ton of rushing yards, but you can't forget about their sophomore quarterback, Cody Bannon. Bannon also likes to throw to his running backs, not just the wide receiver, so you got to keep an eye on all of their offensive pieces.
All right, it's the 9-2 Broncos versus the 11-0 Bobcats. The New Hampshire Division II championship game from UNH YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back to University of New Hampshire Wildcat Stadium for the Division II State Championship, and Alvirne Bobcats kicking away to the Alvirne Broncos kicking away to the Plymouth Bobcats who start this one. Fumble, ball is out off the kickoff return.
Wow.
Just like that, ball popped loose, and it will be Alvirne football. So crowd hasn't even settled into their seats, Andrew, and just like that, the Bobcats cough it up, and Broncos take over on the 29-yard line.
I think number 24, Andrew Porter, came up with that one for the Broncos, I believe.
Well, either way, whoever got a chance on it, we'll see if we can get the official.
Yeah, Andrew Porter.
Andrew Porter with the football and the first run from scrimmage, number 45, Alexander Giuffrida. And the Broncos look to jump on the board early. Great starting field position.
Yeah.
We talked about in the pregame that the Bobcats of Plymouth, they've been here before, 2 straight championship victories. Broncos, they're showing no jitters, coming down on the opening kickoff, forcing a fumble, and then 2 plays later getting the first down inside the red zone.
That's their quarterback, Kyle Gora there, the sophomore. With the keeper, got a number of nice blocks, picked up the first down. Chains will move. Broncos starting out really strong in this one. It's exactly what they needed.
First down and 10 from the 16-yard line for the Broncos. Handoff goes off to the right side, and once again, that is Giuffrida. That'll be a gain of about maybe 2 yards. He will spot the ball at the 14-yard line. And if you watched the game last week, saw a lot of this Plymouth offense and Plymouth defense giving up some points, but as we've talked about, it's not just an offensive explosion. It's Plymouth Bobcats defense only giving up 97 total points this season as we see them chase down the ball carrier, Joe D'Ambrosa.
Yeah, nice job by D'Ambroso there. Getting to the backfield, wrapping Alvirne's quarterback, Gora. Gora, he likes to run. Of course, they will throw the ball. And their running back does get a couple of carries here and there, but Gora, he's going to be one of their main rushers.
So big play here, 3rd down and 5. Man goes in motion. QB keeps it. That is Gora up the middle. He's stopped for just about no gain, and that'll bring up 4th down and decision time. Andrew, if you are the Broncos here, you've got a chance at a field goal, put points on the board, but you know this Bobcats offense, they score a lot of points, 35 a game they average a season. You kind of got to go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do too. I don't know about their kicking situation, if they have confidence in their kicker. Definitely 4th down territory.
Or dropping back to pass, has a man in the corner of the end zone, and it's a touchdown, Broncos. Number 17, Brian Montgomery, with a little fade pattern to the left side of the end zone. Caught it a couple steps in, and the Broncos with the early lead, 6-0.
I think that was senior number 12, Jack Regan there, who made that catch. Nice job by him. He had a defender in his face, but jumped up, made the catch. Really good throw by Gora, too. The defender couldn't get to it. Really a hot start here for the Broncos early on.
And they'll go for 2. The handoff up the middle and tackled into the end zone, it looks like, is the ball carrier. It looked like he was stopped short of the end zone, but then when they rolled him in the tackle, still no signal. Can't tell if they're going to say no good. He did not get into the end zone. So the ball carrier there was, I believe, number 45, Giuffrida, the junior running back. We saw him featured on a couple plays. He doesn't get into the end zone, and the score remains 6-0. And we'll be right back on the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Broncos only losing 2 games all season, finishing with a 7-2 overall record, losing to Hollis Brookline by 6 and to St. Thomas Aquinas by 4. A couple of close losses. This one will be picked up at about the 23-yard line. Number 14, Velez, Anthony Velez. We saw him last week quite a bit. And he gets really stopped for not much of a return on that one. And the Bobcats will start out at their own 23-yard line.
In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games and programs are posted for your viewing pleasure anytime at YCNnow.com. And this game is being brought to you in part by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more.
The Bobcats take over at the 23-yard line, 1st down and 10, and the first play from scrimmage for Plymouth is the handoff off the left side. With number 22 on the carry. Patrick Mom. He was the player of the game last week, a big game in that defeat of Souhegan 45-28. We'll bring up second down and 4 inside 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Bannon under center, fakes the pitch, and the handoff goes up the middle, gains a couple yards, but it'll bring up third down. Plymouth content to keep it on the ground, and we saw that a lot last week. Obviously, they were having a lot of success against Souhegan keeping it on the ground, but also the weather played a factor last week. High winds, they didn't pass it too often, didn't need to, so we'll see here. Third down and a short 2 coming up from the 31. Under center. And the handoff outside of the right by Brickley, and he gets to the corner, and he is able to get to the 46-yard line. A nice pickup there of 15 yards.
Nice run by Brickley there. Brickley trying to make up for that early fumble in this one. Plymouth, the two-time defending state champs. Really did not expect them to be down early in this one, but they're trying to answer right here.
Last week giving up 28 points. Before that, the most points they had given up was 27 way back at the beginning of the season to Guilford Belmont, as we see Brickley again with the carry. This one to the left side, and this one is across the 50 to the 40-yard line of the Broncos, and another first down for the Bobcats. They continue to keep it on the ground and continue to move those chains. First down and 10.
Well, both these teams, they've scored a ton of points this season. Plymouth averaging almost 36 points a game, while Alvirne averaging 31 points a game. But defensively, the Bobcats, they allow less than 9 points a game, while the Broncos allow about 20.
Inside handoff goes up the middle. Short gain, 4 or 5 yards. See where they spot the ball, and it looks like it will be at the 44 for a 4-yard gain. Yeah, and you're right, Andrew. The defense really, the calling card, I guess you could say, for this Bobcats team, 4 times shutting teams out. Once in that quarterfinal game against Hanover. Also giving up a touchdown or less to Bow, Kennett, and Hanover in the regular season. So very superb defense as we see off the right side. Brickley again. Owen Brickley, he is going to carry the ball early and often, and we've seen him already just completely step up when they need him, and before that run he had already amassed 29 yards on the ground and then pick up another 15 or so there.
And you got to credit his offensive line too. They were just blocking for him. A couple of guys, he was falling into the right sideline. The Bobcats line, they have a number of big guys who know how to block up front.
Brickley with 3 carries for 40 yards, and it'll be first and 10 from the 25-yard line. And again, the inside handoff. This one goes to Brickley. He's showing his versatility. He's a running back who can do a lot of stuff. He can sweep it to the outside and hit that corner with speed. He has the size to get inside. I mean, not a huge guy, but big enough, 5'9", 170 pounds, where if he needs to get outside with the speed or cut it up the middle on that inside handoff like he did there and picked up another 8 yards, he's got 48 yards already. Second down and 2. Brickley in motion, fakes to him and gives it to the second man. That's 22. Mom. He scampers forward for another Bobcat first down.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs and check for all of our air times by clicking on schedules at YCNnow.com.
That's one thing we saw this Plymouth team do last week. They run the ball a lot, but they don't just hand it off to the same guy or hand it off to the same pattern, same play. They will hand it off to multiple players. A quarterback, obviously, he'll run it a little bit, and they'll go inside, they'll go outside. This one goes to Brickley, but he is tackled for a loss. This time, he doesn't get anywhere.
I think that's number 58, Thomas Keegan, the junior from the Broncos, making that play. Nice job by him. Definitely lost a few yards there. This would be a huge stop for the Broncos defense.
So it looks like they'll spot the ball at the 15-yard line, and that'll be 5-yard loss, second down and goal from the 15. Under center with the man in motion is Brickley. The handoff again goes to the second man, and that's Mom. Gets back the yardage that was lost plus another yard. We'll spot that one just inside the 10-yard line. It will be at the 9, and that's where they'll spot it. Third down and goal from the 9-yard line. And Andrew, obviously, already down 6-0, 4-down territory. You've got 2 plays here. You got to imagine one of them's going to Brickley on this third down.
Yeah, I would definitely expect that from the Broncos. I'm trying to defend against the run, but Bannon might have a screen pass out to one of his running backs, try to let Mom or Brickley catch the ball and make a play. See what they decide to do here.
So third and goal from the 9. Man in under center. Man in motion. The double fake, and they get it to Brickley, who cuts it up the middle for the touchdown. The man in motion was the first fake. Man in the backfield was the second fake, and then Brickley takes it up the gut for the 9-yard touchdown run and ties the score at 6 apiece.
Yeah, Brickley going in basically untouched. Nice job by Plymouth's offense selling those 2 fakes. Completely caught the Broncos defense off guard.
So the point after attempt coming up here. Looking to give the Bobcats the lead. And a little bit of movement on the defensive side. They're going to get an offsides, move the ball half the distance to the goal, set it up again. See if this tempts the Bobcats to go for 2. And you clearly know that with Alvirne going for 2 at the beginning, they're clearly the underdogs in this situation. Right. They clearly wanted to get up and get on top early, get the extra momentum. Not getting it doesn't really hurt them. It just shows that they're the team that's they're the underdog in this situation. In Plymouth, you'd expect them to kick the extra point, but when you get the extra yardage, now they're huddling up and they're going to go for 2. So half the distance to the goal puts the ball at about the 1-yard line, and that's where Plymouth will set up. Handoff off the right side is Mom. He gets it in for the 2-point conversion, and the Bobcats go up 8-6 with 4:31 to play in the first quarter. We'll take a break. We're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. The Plymouth Bobcats have just scored and put the 2-point conversion on top of that. Go up 8-6 over the Alvirne Broncos. Kicking off, and Broncos return man number 2, Brady Hudson. Those fumbles there. Broncos did, but Hudson was there to pick it up, and they'll start with the ball at their 29-yard line. So, Andrew, first drive, we've seen both these teams have an offensive possession now. What's your first takeaway?
Yeah, so obviously the Bobcats, they had the longer of the 2 drives. The Broncos had a very short field. They, didn't exactly struggle to move the ball. They did face a 4th down, though. And we saw the Bobcats with that longer drive. They had a number of first down with kind of 15-yard runs from their rushers. Seems like Bobcats' offense is rolling more.
Handoff here to number 7, cutting it around the corner and then up the field. He's breaking tackles. Got 2 guys to beat. He does get tripped up, but that's James Bertrand. I believe that was number 7.
Yeah.
Bertrand with the carry and a big gain, shedding 2 would-be tacklers, then fighting a couple more off to gain extra yardage, and just like that, the Broncos set up nicely, first down and 10 at the 24-yard line. This handoff off the left side to number 5. Gora keeps it.
Just as I was saying, Plymouth's offense seems to be rolling more efficiently. The Bobcats have the biggest play from scrimmage of the game so far. And all of a sudden, they're in the red zone. Seems like they just started this drive. It's only been a few plays. So the Broncos really strong right now.
Bertrand with the 47-yard run, then Gora with the 17-yard keeper. The handoff again. This one will be stopped, but not before another 3 or 4 yard gain. So this Broncos offense, they know that they've got to respond and go touchdown for touchdown with this Bobcats. As we saw last week, Sauhegan tried to do that, but just overmatched with this Alvirne team. Like you said, scoring 31 points a game, so they can put it on teams, and they have started pretty nicely here as we have second down and goal from the 5-yard line. Gora will keep it himself, moves the pile a few yards. That'll bring up third down and goal from the 4-yard line.
Now premiering every Saturday night at 6 p.m. is Yankee Chronicle. Also watch the new YCN show Stark Reality with Keith Hansen, airing every week on all YCN stations. It'll focus on issues from the right angle.
So third and goal from the 4 for the Broncos. Gora under center. Hand off to the fullback. That's number 45. We've seen him, Giuffrida. He's had a few carries so far. It's his 4th carry, gains 3 yards. It's going to be at the 1-yard line. 4th down and goal, and at this point you get a touchdown, you go back on top, or if you don't score, Plymouth starts with the ball at basically their own half-yard line. Moving the pile is Gora. He keeps it himself, and he gets it into the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos.
Yeah, Gora just with the quarterback sneak there, pushing the pile forward, just got across the goal line. Broncos scoring touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. As I said earlier, Plymouth on the year, they allow less than 9 points a game, so already allowing 12 here. The Broncos offense really coming out strong.
Yeah, this Broncos offense, obviously, as you said, started with the short field on the first possession thanks to the turnover, but Bertrand ripping off a 47-yard run, then Gora following that up with a 17-yard run to put them into position. And here's Gora throwing to the back of the end zone. That's going to be tipped away, but a couple flags on the play, and that'll be, I would imagine, defensive pass interference or holding. Looked like a lot of contact before the ball was to the receiver.
Yeah, I think that was Plymouth's number 14, Anthony Velez, the senior. Did seem like there was some contact before the ball got there.
And it will be pass interference against the Bobcats, where Alvirne will move the ball a little closer and get a chance at the try. One more chance. Gora under center. No, we won't get a play. We'll have some motion and we'll give the yardage right back.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact on today's contest.
Wow, so an offsides call against the Bobcats will move the ball even closer. So now, this is almost the same spot that the touchdown came from. Just about half a yard to go. And Gora will keep it again, and no signal yet. It looked like he crossed. Still no signal. Did he have enough?
Seemed like he just crossed from our angle, but
and they're going to say no good. Wow, so another 2-point conversion is denied by the Bobcats. So with that, the score, Broncos 12, Bobcats 8. We're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by LaValle Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrews High Championship Saturday. UNH in Durham, New Hampshire, hosting Division 1, 2, and 3 championships. Kickoff fielded at the 25-yard line by Anthony Velez. And he doesn't really have much room to run, and that'll be returned to the 28-yard line. That's where the Bobcats, trailing by 4, will take over.
Today's telecast is being brought to you in part by MJ Harrington, jewelers and designers in Newport, New Hampshire. If you enjoy YCN's local content, make sure you check out YCNnow.com to view and share these videos anytime you want. Also, give us a like on Facebook.
So the Bobcats with a nice drive on their first drive. 11 plays, 77 yards, going for the touchdown, and then the two-point conversion. See what they do here as the handoff once again to Brickley to the right side, breaking a couple tackles, but a couple more defenders were there to make sure he didn't get to the sticks. That'll bring up second down and about 2.
Almost like Owen Brickley kind of outran his blockers there, had to run around a few guys. But nice run by him, picked up about 8 yards on the play.
Plymouth looking to keep that momentum going. Getting back to the lead as they trail right now, 12-8, clock moving here. Fast moving first quarter. We approach a minute to play in this first quarter. Second possession for the Bobcats. Brickley goes in motion. And off to the running back, Mom, who is immediately bottled up, and he'll lose a yard. He'll spot the ball back at the 36-yard line. They'll bring up third down.
No gain, it'll be a 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2 from the 36-yard line.
The YCN scoreboard sponsor is LaValle and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion.
Here we go, 3rd down and 2, 30 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Could be the final play of this first quarter. Under center, the pitch to the left side to Brickley. He's got a little room, but then it's closed up quickly. Looked like he was trying to shoot the gap back to the middle of the field, but 3 defenders closing that gap quickly, and did they do it quick enough? And they'll stop the clock for a measurement. 9 seconds to play here in the first quarter. So that probably will be the last play of the quarter as they will measure the football here, measure the spot. If it's a first down, clock would run before Plymouth gets another play. And if it's 4th down, I'm sure they'll take their time making a decision. And it will be 4th down. So now, Andrew, here's decision time. You're backed up to your own 37-yard line. Yeah, you have a really good offense, but so far this Broncos team, they've shown they have a good offense. Do you want to give them another short field here? Or how much confidence do you have to get this sneak in this extra yard?
Yeah, I think, they are backed up really far, and that would give the Broncos short field, already down by 4 points, but it's just such a short amount to get this first down. You got to go for it here, I think. It looks like that is what Plymouth will do. You've got to defend against that QB sneak. Not too many men lined up on the line right there.
The handoff to the first man, that's Mom, number 22, and he is able to get the first down. And the strange thing there was Plymouth didn't really take any time. They didn't want to give the Broncos any time to think it over and get a defensive strategy. They just ran up the line of scrimmage and ran the play. They actually had to wait for the chain gang to get set. And the clock restarts. It's 0-0 for the end of the first quarter. We've got a good one here from Durham, New Hampshire, the YCN game of the week. It's Broncos leading the Bobcats 12-8. We'll be right back with quarter number 2.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back. Second quarter of action here at Wildcat Stadium. Plymouth Bobcats and the Alvirne Broncos. First down and 10, and the Bobcats hand the ball to Baum, who barrels forward for about 8 yards. That 4th down conversion will keep the ball on the ground, as we have, I think, yet to see anyone throw the ball from Plymouth. Alvirne did have 1 completion on 1 attempt, but so far, Bannon kept it on the ground, young quarterback, sophomore. And when you have as many weapons on the ground as you do, no need to put it in the air. Les in motion, handoff to Brickley, and he is wrapped up across the 50-yard line, but not before he gains enough yards for the first down.
Nice run by Brickley. Didn't need too many yards there. Just got the first down. Moved the chains. Plymouth, they've really had these long kind of sustained drives, while the Broncos have really quickly scored. Of course, they had that short field, and then they used that one basically 50-yard play in their second drive. So we haven't really seen too many short, kind of long drives from the Broncos, but Plymouth, on the other hand, they want to possess and win time of possession.
Handoff right up the middle. Mom just a little off tackle, but he is hit immediately across the line of scrimmage. He'll gain a yard. I believe they'll spot him at the 48-yard line, so that will be enough. It will be a 1-yard gain, but well, they spot it back at the 49, so they're going to say no gain on that one. Second down and 10. Clock moving inside 10.5 minutes to play here before halftime. Plymouth looking good, keeping possession, as you mentioned, staying with that ground game. Alvirne, if you give Alvirne too much of a playbook, they're going to eventually stop this running game. Brickley off the left side, and then no one's going to stop him as he scampers forward for 11 yards, and that'll be enough for another Bobcat first down. Just like that, after a couple stops, Bobcats team, they have so many different weapons, so many different plays. I think that's the thing. The offensive play calling is so creative from this Bobcats team. They can jet sweep it. They can halfback toss. They go right up the middle with a fullback. A lot of different offense. And under center. Brickley again goes in motion. He takes it off the jet sweep now on the right side and wrapped up immediately by Hudson. Once again, even though it looked pretty quick, like they did tackle him and they wrapped him up, he still was able to gain 6 yards.
Right. Yeah, with those sweeps, Brickley seems really effective when he has a blocker right in front of him running along. Brickley can really decide if he's going to stay behind him or cut back midfield or go to the sideline. Brickley really a strong runner, very elusive too.
A lot of times he's starting in motion, and now they're lining him up on the opposite side. They're lining him on the near side, and he'll go in motion the other way, take the handoff again. He has his blocker, and then once again just barrels forward. Picked up a couple blocks. Tracy Cristiano, lead blocker on that one. And if you're the Broncos defensive coordinator, you got to figure out a way to stop him. You got to put a man on him to follow him in motion.
Right.
And you got to be able to shed those blockers and get around him, because you're right, he's so fast. He either can follow the lead block, gain 5 or 6 yards, or go around him if he thinks he has an opening and gain 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, you got to assume Brickley or Mom, either one of them, they're going to get the ball. It's hard to kind of commit to one or the other. They're both so skilled.
First down and 10, and that handoff goes to Mom right up the middle. As once again, Brickley going on the motion fake to him, and Mom takes it up the middle. Gain about 5 yards. We'll bring up second down and 5.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, serving brick oven pizza and much more. And hey, local sports fans, 94.5 ESPN's Brett Franklin Sports Talk Show can be seen on YCN's WYCX outside television at midnight every weekday.
Second down and 5. Brickley lined up on the right side. Mom directly behind the quarterback, and we'll have a stoppage on the field. A penalty thrown from way back, and might be a delay of game. Legal substitution. It's going to go on Plymouth as they march backwards, and the referee is marking off the 5-yard penalty. They bring up second down and 9 or 10. Second down and 9. Mom Lone back. Fake to him, give to Brickley. Jukes a couple defenders, and he's able to get the penalty yardage back. We'll bring up third down and 6. Ball's on the 22-yard line. Third down and 6. Clock moving here as we approach 7 minutes to play. And remember, Plymouth has had the ball this entire quarter. They had it at the end of the first quarter, converted the 4th down, the last play of the first quarter, and now they've had it for the entire second quarter, 5 minutes, and they started with it just about right about midfield. So they just take their time when they have the ball. Hand off there to Apiliano. Oh, that was 22. That was Mom. So Mom again with the carry, bringing up the first down.
Next week's YCN Game of the Week will be replaying one of our best matchups of the season as we replay Middlebury hosting Burlington. That game will premiere next Saturday at 7 p.m. and 6 p.m. on WYCU and WYCI, and at 5 p.m. on WYCX.
So Velez gets the fake handoff, and then the handoff goes up the middle. It was Mom again. And he has an 8-yard gain. So second down and 2.
Ball at the Bronco 10. Second and 2, Bobcats.
Clock moving. Bobcats really taking their time. They're not getting chunks of yardage, just picking enough up for first downs, and then they take their time getting back to the line of scrimmage. They've realized this this Bronco offense is for real, and they don't want to let them back on the field so quickly. As ball carrier off to the right side, looks like he'll have just enough maybe for a first down, and they will mark it at the 6-yard line. So first and goal now.
Ball at the 6. Will be a first and goal.
First and goal from the 6-yard line.
First and goal.
Brickley in motion. The handoff to Mom up the middle. He's got the room. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Bobcats, and they regain the lead 14-12 with the extra point pending here. And Andrew, a long time it took on that drive. All of the second quarter, which was 6 minutes and 41 seconds. And then they started with the ball in the first quarter. So really, if you're the Bobcats, pretty good drive, and you realize this Broncos offense is scary, you might want to keep them off the field.
Yeah, definitely. That time of possession is so crucial in this game. Plymouth, these long drives while the Broncos just want to score immediately.
So the extra point coming up here, and it is up, and it is good. The drive that took 11 minutes, 37 seconds, covered 72 yards in 16 plays, puts the Bobcats up by 3, 15-12. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by M.J. Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Championship Saturday here, Division II. Bobcats and Broncos. Plymouth scoring a touchdown, getting the extra point, going up 15-12. And now the kickoff to the Broncos, and that's number 16, it looked like. Kyle Clark, I believe. And he gets out to the 30-yard line, and that's where Alvirne will take over, looking to retake that lead.
Tune in every Saturday at 9 p.m. for YCN Sports Wrap as we take a look at other local high school sports in our area. And right afterwards is YCN Sports Talk, which focuses on our region's pro teams with the Salt Hill Pub NFL Picks of the Week.
First down and 10 for the Broncos. See if they can score again. They've already scored on both of their possessions, scored touchdowns. Hand off to the left side off the sweep. That's number 7. Bertrand again breaking tackles. He has one guy to beat. He beats him, and he's shoved out by Brickley. Brickley had the angle, but not before Bertrand. Another huge gain. 47-yard run on the last drive. And this time he busts it out for 62 yards and a first down and goal at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like Plymouth brought the blitz on the left side, but the Broncos went to the right and picked up a huge play there.
That play is blown up in the backfield. Gora doesn't have any room, and he loses a handful of yards. Second down and goal.
I think that was number 50, Austin Tallman, the junior from Plymouth there. Nice job by him getting into the backfield.
Bringing Gora down for a loss of 9 yards. Gora will set up in the shotgun. We've seen him throw it once. That's his second throw, and he gets that one out to Bertrand, who is immediately wrapped up after making the catch. Spot that one at the the 12-yard line. Just at the 12-yard line, so gaining a couple of yards back on that one. And immediately now, we've got third down and goal. Touchdowns are what these teams are looking for. Don't want to have to settle for a field goal, especially after that 62-yard run. And that ball is almost intercepted on the far side. Brickley got his hands on it, but falls incomplete, and that'll bring up fourth down and goal for the Broncos, and decision time. He went for it on fourth down already. Of course, it was a much shorter amount of yards to gain, but Andrew, the way these teams have played, touchdowns are so important, you might want to try and go for it. But they're going to talk it over first. Timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. 3:50 to play before the half. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back. 3:50 to play. Fourth down and goal. Broncos have it. 4th and 12. Gora dropping back. Has a man, but just overthrown. But a flag on the play. And Anthony Velez looks like he might have gotten his hands in a little early. And they'll see if it's a pass interference or a holding call. Going to be pass interference on the Bobcats. So that's going to be an automatic first down, Andrew.
Yeah.
Big second wind here now if you're the Broncos after a fourth down. Good play drawn up, but it was nicely defended. Just got a little aggressive on the hands.
Yeah, there's definitely contact before the ball got there. I think that was pretty obvious. Not sure if the contact was necessarily needed. The ball might have been thrown past the receiver anyway. But Velez, just too much contact in there. That's going to get called every time.
So that'll bring up first down. Oh, it was not. There was not an automatic first down. So excuse me, it's still fourth down. Or at least that's what the scoreboard and the pass interference. It is a pass interference, but 4th and goal from the 6 for the Broncos. Gora in the shotgun, the handoff, and then the pitch. Has Gora wide open on the right side. A little trickery. Touchdown, Broncos.
That is senior Jack Regan there with the touchdown pass to Gora. Tricky play there. Kind of a couple handoffs reverse, but then Gora just completely uncovered into the end zone. Just a simple pass there by Regan. Nice play by the Broncos.
Well, somebody was watching the Patriots-Titans game on Sunday. I think that was the exact same play that they ran when Brady caught the pass and then tripped over himself. Gora easily catches it and runs it into the end zone. So a nice little trick play from Alvirne, and they go up 18-15, and now the two-point conversion, a direct snap to the fullback. Wow. He's going to fall forward, but he is going to be ruled down at the 1 yard line.
think that's a good call. I think his knee just went down, just came up short. I think he fell kind of into the end zone, but his knee did touch the turf.
So they go into the back of the playbook early. A couple trick plays. The trick play for the touchdown, and then the direct snap there for the two-point conversion comes up no good. Their third touchdown, they went for the two-point conversion and failed to make it. So the score, 18-15. Broncos in the lead, 3:41 to play in the first half. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Broncos with another touchdown to go up 18-15 over the Bobcats, and they kick it off a little bit of a low squib kick, and it's going to be stopped before the return. So I'm not sure if there was a penalty or teams weren't set. There is a penalty flag on the far side. It's going to be offsides on the Broncos, so they'll re-kick it. Move it back 5 yards to the 35-yard line. And Andrew, we were talking during the break, some good trick plays there, but the Broncos seem to be getting a little unlucky. You have yet to convert on their two-point conversion. They've tried it 3 times.
Yeah, potentially they've left 6 points on the board, which of course is a full touchdown. So Broncos, they have been scoring, but their two-point conversions all failing.
So we'll do it again. This time the kick is much shorter, fielded at the 35 by Velez, who fields it while running upfield, so he gets a little burst of speed, head start. He'll return it to the 43-yard line, and that's where Bobcats will take over. And I would imagine with 3:36 to play, they're going to take their time and go into the locker room with this being the last drive if they can help it.
YCN is now affiliated with the Heroes and Icons Network on WYCI and WYCU. Watch our new programs every weekday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And also check out MyTV on WYCI from 8 to 10 p.m. And don't forget to check out Outside Television on WYCX, America's active adventure lifestyle leader.
Handoff to Brickley. He goes off the right side, has a blocker out there, cuts to the corner, gets the first down. And the blocker on that one was number 34, Cale Swanson. Bronco defender asking for a holding penalty, but he won't get it. And if you're the Bobcats, you really have to score a touchdown here because you will be kicking off to start the second half. They received the opening kickoff, but then fumbled it away, giving the Broncos a short field at which they took advantage of. So 3.5 minutes to play here. Broncos really need to make it down the field. Brickley goes in motion. The handoff to Brickley off the left side. And he's brought down out of bounds. Hudson on the tackle.
Hudson on the tackle.
To the 39-yard line. That'll be second down and 4 for the Bobcats.
Those Brickley sweeps to either sideline have been really effective. Offensive line doing a nice job of blocking. Brickley always has a lead blocker in front of him. He's doing a nice job of moving the chains.
15 carries for Brickley for 115 yards on the ground. This handoff goes to Mom, who cuts it back towards the middle, gets the first down, and for that carry, he had 14 attempts for 63 yards. So combined there, over 180 yards rushing. And then you add that play on there for 8 yards. First down for the Bobcats. Clock moving. They're showing no signs of needing to really rush. They don't want to leave any time on the clock for this Broncos team. As we've seen their offense, they can get down the field in a hurry. This handoff to Brickley. He is stopped in the backfield. He was held up by one player, and then the rest of the team came in to make the tackle.
That was Thomas Keegan there, the junior from Alvirne, but it looks like he is down and injured.
Injury timeout, 2:48 to play. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 2:45 to go, clock moving. Brickley is in motion, but the handoff does not go to him. I believe that was 42. I haven't seen his number called. Ian Trider. Out of the timeout, the injury timeout. That'll bring up third down. And long. 3rd and 13. Really the first difficult situation Plymouth has faced. They obviously had a 4th down, but this one is 3rd and 13, and the ref calls a timeout. It's his timeout, I believe. Somebody's going to come off the field. This happened a couple times last week, and it was an equipment something, or because it's not a legal substitution, because that's a penalty flag. It happened multiple times in that game where something was wrong with somebody's equipment or pad or something wasn't in the right spot. So he goes off, and the handoff to Brickley, cutting back up the middle, but met immediately by a defender. And that's going to bring up 4th down and decision time if you're the Bobcats. Inside 2 minutes. Still plenty of time for the Broncos to come down and score a touchdown if they get the ball back.
Yeah, 4th and 8. It's not going to be an automatic play. Earlier they had a 4th and short. They easily got that one. But 4th and 8, that is tough. See what they decide to do.
And it would be a pretty long field goal,
right.
45-yard field goal. So they're not going to kick the field goal, even though they might have a little wind to their back. Under center. He's going to drop back and pass is Bannon, and it is not going to work. A little extracurricular activity there after the play was over. I got to be careful. You don't want to get a personal foul and change this drive or flip it over, but turnover on downs for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I think that was Gregory Ellis, the senior, and Jacob Champagne from Alvirne there. Nice job by them. It seemed like if Bannon got loose, he was going to pick up that 1st down. He had a bit of a hole. But those two guys pulled him back and forced the big turnover on downs.
So 1 minute, 5 seconds to play here. See if the Broncos can do anything. Gora scampers to the outside. Gets the 1st down. He'll go out of bounds to stop the clock. Only 5 seconds taken off on that play, and a nice chunk of yardage. Alvirne looking to put something in the end zone. Only one timeout left, so you don't have the luxury of many clock stoppages. So you've got to keep picking up 1st downs, which will stop the clock when they move the chains, and then getting out of bounds like Gora did there. Gora directing traffic. He's in the shotgun again. 4 wide receivers, 1 man in motion. He hands to the motion man, which is Bertrand. He cuts it to the outside, sheds 1 tackler, and then he is pushed out of bounds. Doesn't get the 1st down, but stops the clock, and only 7 seconds taken off. And right now, at this point, that's the biggest thing, is keep that clock stopped if you can.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local event televised into YCN's nearly 300,000 TV households, contact us at info@ycnnow.com.
53 seconds to play. Picking up the 1st down on the ground is number 45. Giuffrida, seeing him getting a few carries. He's got 5 carries, 14 yards. The clock stops to move the chains, but then it restarts, and Gora under the shotgun, in shotgun. Bertrand in motion, fakes to Bertrand, gives it to Giuffrida, and he is tackled at the line of scrimmage. So I don't know if that was a busted play. Looked like it was slowly developing play, and there'll be a timeout on the field. Broncos take a timeout. We'll step aside. 24 seconds to play before the half. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back. Final 24 seconds of the first half. Alvirne Broncos leading the Plymouth Bobcats 18-15. Gora dropping back to pass. He's going downfield, has a man open, and that's Bertrand picking it up in the middle of the field and picking up the first down.
Nice play there, Gora to Bertrand. Bertrand has been huge in this game. They're quickly going up to the line now. First down did stop the clock for a moment, but now it's rolling and they will just spike.
So Gora spikes the football. Second comes off the clock. 17-yard completion. We've seen him throw the ball a few times. He's 3 for 5. Either of these teams pass it often.
Right. I can't confirm this, but I believe Plymouth has always had the lead at halftime, so this would be big for Alvirne if they could add to their lead here.
Swing pass to the outside, and that one's complete to Bertrand. He goes out of bounds. Yeah, with the way the Bobcats took care of business this season, you would think that most of the games, if not all of them, you're correct, that they have always led. And it's going to be a tall task for them to do that now with only 8 seconds to play and down by 3. No timeouts for the Broncos, only 8 seconds. You've got to get out of bounds because you're not going to have enough time to get up to the line of scrimmage and spike it. Well, that'll be 4th down anyway, and that ball is incomplete. Intended for Legan.
It's almost a situation where if you're Plymouth and the receiver's in front of you, almost if he can catch the ball and you can tackle him, that's almost better. I know that Shanes would have to move. The clock would stop, but then being able to line up for another play with just 4 seconds left would have been tough.
They'll bring up 4th down and 6, but basically 4th and goal because you're not going to get 2 plays off here with 4 seconds. So 4th and 6. Got to get to the end zone. Gora dropping back, looking downfield. He's got the arm. He throws it to the end zone, tipped around, and falls in the back of the end zone, incomplete. And that's how the first half will end. So we've got a good one here from Wildcat Stadium in Durham, New Hampshire. So the Alvirne Broncos leading the Plymouth Bobcats 18-15, the Division II state championships. We'll be back with the second half after this.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion in 10 locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. My TV, airing every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI. Watch their new season with Law & Order Criminal Intent, Chicago PD, Dateline, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort. They say we are familiar, we are warm, and we are fun. We are Sunapee. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington & Company, jewelers and designers since 1948, committed to crafting the finest quality jewelry for our customers. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist for the most complete line of energy products. And enjoy a level of superior customer and on-site service. And by Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community.
Welcome back. Second half of action about to get underway at Wildcat Stadium. The Alvirne Broncos lead the Plymouth Bobcats 18-15. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide here with you. Second half underway. Alvirne getting the second half kickoff. Plymouth receiving the opening kickoff to start the game, but fumbling it away. So Alvirne gets the extra possession as they have taken advantage of those possessions, Andrew, in that first half, scoring before that last drive that they ran out of time, scoring on all 3 of their possessions 3 touchdowns, not getting the extra points or 2-point conversions, but they still lead by 3. Good half if you're the Broncos.
Yeah, very good half. Obviously, your defense forcing that turnover, but your offense has just been so strong. Gora has really picked up a number of yards rushing. Offense has just been so good here so far.
And out of the halftime break, we've got a penalty right off the bat on the first offensive possession, so that'll be a 5-yard false start against the Broncos. Some of the statistics looking at first downs, Plymouth leading 12-8. They just dominated because they just moved the change methodically, picking up first downs. But the yardage, total yardage, pretty close. Alvirne with the lead there, 207 to 181. Most of it obviously coming on the ground. All of Plymouth's yardage coming on the ground, and 163 of the 207 for Alvirne coming on the ground. And Gora, that's going to be another penalty. So out of the locker room, they are out of sync. Not sure if it's just a snap count issue or somebody doesn't have the play correctly. But that's going to be another dead ball foul, false start. Now just 10 yards moving back. Not the way you wanted to start this second half.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know if we saw any false start calls against the Broncos in the first half at all, so definitely not coming out of the locker room hot. Now 1st and 20. Starting pretty good field position just over the 40, but now 1st and 20. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, only 2 penalties in that first half for a total of 6 yards for the Broncos. Here's Gora with the fake handoff, throwing to his man who was covered by Brickley. Good coverage there by Brickley, knocking the pass away and trying to get it all back in one pass. That was to the first down marker, so a 20-yard pass there, falling incomplete.
In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games and programs are posted for your viewing pleasure anytime at YCNnow.com. And this game is being brought to you in part by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more.
One of the stats that jumped off the page, time of possession, Plymouth with 22 minutes, 11 seconds, and Alvirne with 7 minutes, 43 seconds in that first half. As you see, Gora dropping back and completing a pass on 2nd down and 20. He gets 6 yards back. Maybe we'll see where they spot that ball. And it will say 3rd down and 14. So almost a 3-1, Andrew, and we noticed that pretty easily. If you're watching this game, you can tell. I mean, that drive that started in the first quarter and went through to the second quarter was an 11-minute drive by the Bobcats, and that was half of their time of possession at 22 minutes. This Bobcats team, they take their time, and that's why they're so dangerous, because not only will they score, but they'll keep you off the field. Deep pass from Gora into double coverage, and that falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down, and most likely the punt team out here for the first time for either team.
Nice job by Plymouth's secondary there, making a number of nice plays. Owen Brickley was in on the action, so was Velez. I think even DM Brusso was there. Nice job by the Bobcats defense, recording their first stop of the day.
So the first punt from either team will be here just 50 seconds into the second half. Couple penalties hurt the ball. That punt is blocked, and it's a live ball. Picked up, it's fumbled around, but it is still live. No one able to get to it. And Plymouth looks like they have it. Not that it would matter, it's their football anyway. But it's going to be a lot closer to the goal line. Off the blocked punt, 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
Not sure who made the original block, but I think number 88, Jackson Palumbo, the senior from Plymouth, maybe recovered the ball. A number of guys tried to jump on it. Ball came loose, but a huge block punt. And the Bobcats trying to get some momentum here.
1st down and goal from the 8-yard line, and that's the big momentum shifter that the Bobcats needed, as they'll take advantage of it by giving it to Mom. He gets to the 6-yard line before he's wrapped up. We'll spot the ball there on a 2-yard gain at the 6. And Andrew, we were talking about this at halftime. Plymouth really had no answer for this Alvirne offense, scoring the 3 times. But you take a couple penalties if you're the
Right.
Bobcats, or excuse me, if you're the Broncos, the 2 false start penalties, then the Bobcats block a punt, and now just like that, it's flipped over, and the Bobcats looking like they have a good chance to go into the end zone and take the lead. This one will be Brickley off the right side. He dives over the end zone, and he's in for a touchdown. Back and forth we go. Plymouth now back in front, 21-18.
Nice run there by Brickley, strong run. Kind of fought through a little bit of contact, dived across the end zone. Nice job by Brickley, nice job by Plymouth's defense, of course, scoring after that blocked punt.
The extra point coming up here for the Bobcats to put this out to a 2-score game. Up 3 now, looking to make it a 4-point game. Here's the snap, a lot of rushing, but not enough as the kick is up and good. So 50 seconds on the first drive, Alvirne punts it away, it's blocked, and this one is about a minute on their drive for the Bobcats. They score on the short field, take the lead, 22-18. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, and just like that, a minute 42 into the second half, the Bobcats take the lead on the touchdown run from Brickley. Now lead 22-18 after converting the extra point, and the Broncos will have a chance here starting on their own 24-yard line, almost to the 25. Andrew, you got to be careful if you're the Broncos. This is a big game. They've answered every question up to this point. They had their first playoff win a couple weeks ago, their first semi-final appearance, got the win. Even the opening drive, forced a fumble. Now you're down after a couple penalties and a blocked punt. Here's where you need to respond.
Yeah, the offense definitely, they need to score here. They need to have a long, nice sustained drive, try to win some time of possession here.
Take some time off the clock, and they'll do that by keeping it on the ground. A couple of yards to the outside. Not your ideal play. You want to get Bertrand involved, as he obviously is the star of this team on the ground. In the first half, he rushed for 118 yards, and he caught 26 yards of passing yardage. So basically accounting for 75% of this offense. And another penalty flag flies, and it's another false start. So you take the punt out of the window, out of the equation, and Alvirne has run, 4 plays?
Yeah.
And they've had 3 false start penalties.
Yeah, not a clean third quarter here, not how you wanted to come out of the break, obviously. And they're going to face 2nd and 13. Facing some more adversity here in their second possession of this second half.
Clock moving, 9:30 to play. This Plymouth defensive front is rushing up. Maybe that's causing some motion, and incomplete there as that ball is thrown, and the receiver, I think, ran the wrong way, or maybe the quarterback had the wrong play.
Yeah, one of those two. I think kind of looked like Gorge threw behind Jack Regan. I don't know if Regan was supposed to cut back for the ball, but Regan could not make a play. So now big 3rd down and 13 here. This would be a huge conversion, keeping the drive alive, obviously. But if Plymouth can make a stop here, back-to-back stops by their defense after they couldn't stop them at all in the first half.
3rd and long, Gora with the swing pass to the fullback. And that's number 45, Giuffrida, and he is wrapped up, nowhere to go. Maybe gets a yard, and that's going to bring up another 4th down when the Broncos will have to punt this one away.
I believe that was Plymouth's, Anthony, or that might have been Ian Schreider there, number 42 by the Bobcats, kind of setting the edge. Nice job by him.
We'll see if the Broncos have a little bit better luck on their punt unit. 4th and 11. Punter is out there standing at the 10-yard line. He gets this one away. It's a high punt, not too far, and it takes a good Bronco hop. Nice bounce, end over end, and it rolls all the way down to the 32-yard line, and that's where Bobcats will take over. 8:29 to play in the third quarter. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Bobcat football, they've taken the lead here, and now they have the ball back after forcing 2 straight punts. And that first play, run up the middle, Mom gains about a half a yard. 22-18 our score after both teams having a lot of success in the first half scoring. And then this second half has started a little slow if you're the Broncos, with multiple penalties, a block punt, another false start penalty, and then another punt. Luckily, it did take a nice bounce, so it knocked the Bobcats down. It could have been up closer to midfield, but all the way back to the 32 is where they'll start this drive. 2nd down and 9. Brickley in motion. He takes the handoff, but a nice defensive stop by the Broncos.
That's Gregory Ellis there, the senior tackle. Nice job by him. He's been a key player in this game, made a number of nice stops on defense. And knocks Plymouth back about 6 yards or so.
Yeah, that's a big stop right there, knocking them back to the 26-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and 16. Broncos really need to get off the field here. Get a stop, and drops back to pass. We won't see our first pass. It looks like he's going to run, but he does throw it. That's Bannon throwing it out to the right side. He had a man, but falls incomplete, and the Bobcats will face a 4th down. And clearly the defenses made some adjustments in the locker rooms, because although the Broncos had a couple penalties that didn't help, Bobcats defense played well, and now the Broncos have responded and forced a punt.
Yeah, I think some of the pressure is getting to these offenses. You know, we are in the 3rd quarter now of the championship game, so defense is really starting to become a key factor.
Who's going to make the big play here? Another big play on special teams or on defense. Which team can get their offense going faster? Wow. And that punt, I don't know if it was blocked or off the side of his foot, but didn't go too far. Barely got to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll spot it, and Broncos will take over. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. In this third quarter, through the first 5 minutes, has been complete opposite of that first half. As a swing pass off the left side is complete to Bertrand, who runs out of bounds after the catch, and he'll gain a 1st down. When I say completely opposite of that first half, the Bobcats are the only team to score in this half. We've now seen 3 punts after not seeing any punts in that first half, one of which was blocked, and the Bobcats got the short field and scored. And now, after that terrible punt from Plymouth, Broncos with a chance here, put one in the end zone. 1st and 10 from the 31, another swing pass, this to the right side. Bertrand sheds one tackler, then Mom is there to make the tackle for a loss of 2.
Nice job by Bobcats defense there. Mom and some other guys read that throw before it came out of the hands of Gora. They were able to knock Broncos back a couple of yards. And if Alvirne, really, they just got to be clean. Their last 2 drives that did end with a punt, you got to remember there were multiple false start flags, which really hurt them. So if they can just play some clean football here, maybe they can score again.
They'll have to pick up 12 yards, 2nd down and 12. Gora dropping back. He's flushed out to the side, and he's tackled from behind.
Wow.
Sacking Gora.
That is Joe D.M. Bruoso, the sophomore from Plymouth. Nice job by him. As I was just saying, the Broncos' last couple of drives, they faced really about the same situation as just 3rd and 20, but they had flags that time. This time, Plymouth's defense just knocking them back the old-fashioned way. So Alvirne again facing a big 3rd and 20. It's going to be tough to convert here.
So the Plymouth defense trying to bail out the punter who had a tough punt off the side of his foot. And here is 3rd and 20. Scrambling to the right as Gora has a man downfield. That's Bertrand, but defended nicely by Anthony Velez. And he was right on his man, but no penalty flag. Good defense, and that's going to bring up another 4th down for the Broncos.
Yeah.
3 possessions, 3 punts.
I think Broncos head coach wanted that call. I don't think he's happy right now. It did seem like there was a lot of contact, but it kind of seemed like it might have been 50-50 contact from both players. But a no call there. Now another 4th and long.
But if you're the Broncos, you still have a chance to flip the field and hit a nice punt. The punt return man isn't even back for the Bobcats. And that punt doesn't go anywhere near him, so it doesn't matter. But it is a nice punt. It's back to the 9-yard line, and that's where the Bobcats will take over. 5:05 to play in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by M.J. Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 5:05 to play, 3rd quarter. Handoff to Mom. Puts it up the middle, and he's gained about 8 yards there. And somebody looking for some offense. Broncos offense has been absolutely non-existent in this second half. They've had 3 drives. They've all ended in punts. Bobcats Plymouth have had their first drive, which was a short field starting at the 8. They scored a touchdown to take the lead, but then they had to punt one away, and now starting deep in their own territory, see if they can do anything. 4:30 to play, 2nd down and 2. Handoff again goes up the middle. That one's to Mom, and he's forward across the 31-yard line for a 1st down. And Andrew, we know what's going to happen if you're Plymouth. You have the lead, you're up 4. You're going to keep running the ball, keep the clock moving. I would not be surprised to see them run out all this 3rd quarter and into the 4th quarter, unless, of course, they break a big play.
Right, of course, you know, they're in the lead, but only 4 points. You got to score again. But we've seen in this game, we've had these long drives, and they've just commanded the score, really. Had control.
Inside handoff to Brickley, and he gains a couple of yards there, falls forward at the 32.5-yard line. They'll spot it at the 32-yard line. 2nd down and 9. Plymouth in no hurry. They go back. They have a full huddle. Time off the clock. The first man out of the huddle is the center. Runs up to the football. The rest of the team takes their time. Keep the clock moving. 3.5 to play. Brickley in motion. Fake to Brickley, and it goes to Mom. He's met at the 35, and he's tackled for gain of a few yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Another 3rd down. Alvirne last in the 1st half, they were 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. Plymouth 3 for 5. Both these teams have had a couple 3rd down looks already in this 3rd quarter. Big play here, 3rd and 6. And off to the right side. That's to number 34, Swanson, Cale Swanson. He picks up a yard at most. He's spotted at the 36, and that's where the Bobcats will punt it away. It's 2:30 and counting.
Now premiering every Saturday night at 6 p.m. is Yankee Chronicle. Also watch the new YCN show Stark Reality with Keith Hansen, airing every week on all YCN stations. It'll focus on issues from the right angle.
Return man set up at the 32-yard line. Clock moving. We approach 2 minutes to play. Kick is away, and it's being waved off. The bounce doesn't help either team as it just stops dead right there at the 38. That's where the Broncos will take over. They've struggled so far. Can they get something going? 1:58 to play in the third quarter. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back. 1:58 to play in the third quarter. Alvirne. Broncos looking to get something going. They've stalled out so far in the second half with 3 punts. Now they'll try again. Another rushing play. No need to put it in the air. If you're the Broncos, you're only down 4, so you need a touchdown. And when the Bobcats have the ball, they have the lead in such a good, powerful rushing offense. No need for them to pass it. Not really seeing much in the way of passing.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs and check for all of our air times by clicking on schedules at YCNnow.com.
Gora's going to keep it, runs into some defense on the right side, but cuts back and then finds a little hole, and he scampers through it for the first down. Looked like he was going to be stopped short of the first down marker, but he was able to get to the 50 before he was brought down. First down and 10 from midfield. 1:12 to play in this third quarter. Only score so far has been a Bobcats touchdown, which put them back in the lead. Here's Bertrand off the right side. He's met immediately by a defender. D'Ambroso tackles the ball carrier for a 2-yard loss. Broncos still struggling to get this offense going, but have eliminated penalties.
Right.
We saw them with the 2 false starts in their first drive and then another false start the next drive.
Just got to clean up these negative plays. They're losing too many yards here.
Second down and 12. Bertrand in motion. Gora in the shotgun. He fires as an open receiver, and it's complete. It's Reagan, Jack Reagan. Completed for 6 yards. Third down and 6. Now we're inside a minute to play here in the third quarter. Broncos taking their time, getting up to the line. Gora calls for the motion man. He's in the shotgun. Hands it off to the fullback, and busting free is Giuffrida. He has plenty, and he's got enough for a first down at the Bobcat 37. First down and 10 inside 30 seconds.
Big pickup by Giuffrida there. That would have been a tough decision. Would have been 4th and a few yards about midfield, but they converted. Looks like they're going to hang on to this and have possession at the end of this quarter.
Bertrand to the outside. Flags fly right in the area of holding before the tackle, so I would imagine it was not a face mask penalty. I'm guessing it was holding. 7 seconds on the game clock. And it will be holding against the Broncos. So, like you said, Andrew, you got to limit these negative plays and they'll be okay, but between penalties, sack yardage, lost yardage on run plays, they have really struggled this third quarter. They'll be glad when it's over.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a lot of their runners and quarterbacks. A lot of these guys are getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage, and then on top of that, these false starts and a hold there. It is a hold against the Broncos, so that will knock them back. Looks like about 5 or so yards.
Yeah, it's going to be a 10-yard butt from the spot of the foul,
Gotcha.
So you do move only back. You're only first down and 18. Replay the down, but once again, those negative plays, they've got to eliminate them. Bertrand in motion, but Gora's going to throw it himself. has the man, and he has the completion, I believe. He does get the completion.
That's Jack Regan there. Nice reception by him, holding on to the ball. Looked like his defender maybe tried to rip it loose too, but he maintained possession. Got back a ton of those yards.
Got back 17 of the 18. It'll be 2nd down and 1 when we come back to start the 4th quarter. Broncos looking to go back on top. They trail the Bobcats 22-18. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion in 10 locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. My TV, airing every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI. Watch their new season with Law & Order Criminal Intent, Chicago PD, Dateline, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort. They say we are familiar, we are warm, and we are fun. We are Sunapee. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington & Company, jewelers and designers since 1948, committed to crafting the finest quality jewelry for our customers. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist for the most complete line of energy products. And enjoy a level of superior customer and on-site service. And by Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 4th quarter. New Hampshire State Championships Division II, Broncos and the Bobcats, and 2nd down and a yard is easily taken care of as the Broncos keep it, and Gora sneaks it for the 1st down. So Andrew, 4th quarter. Plymouth has been here before. Alvirne hasn't, but really, other than that first drive that started the 3rd quarter, Broncos surely look like they belong here in the championship.
Yeah, I think after that fumble, that forced fumble and recovery and touchdown, that really kind of surprised everyone in the stadium. They really showed everyone that they absolutely deserve to be here.
Gora has a man downfield, and it is incomplete, just overthrown. He was looking for Kyle Boucher. And that'll be an incompletion. But a good time to try that. You really haven't done a lot of passing. You've obviously been running most of the time. Thrown some passes. Gora has thrown a few. But you got 1st down. Try and find somebody deep. Get a touchdown. If it doesn't happen, give it to Bertrand here and try and pick up the 1st down.
Broncos from the Bobcat 25.
2nd down and 10. Gora under center. Defense trying to time the snap count and bust in there. And the handoff to Giafrida. Spinning forward for a couple of yards, and that'll bring up 3rd down, and clearly down by 4. Clock moving in the 4th quarter. This is 4-down territory if you're the Broncos.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's a championship game, 4th quarter, but this far down the field, even if you don't convert, if you turn the ball over, it's still going to give Plymouth's offense a long field to march down.
And your defense has played pretty well.
Right.
The only touchdown this half was the short field by the Bobcats. There's the throw to the outside, and just a little bit outside is the throw, and that'll be incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down and 7.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact on today's contest.
4th down and 7. On the 22-yard line. Broncos are 3 for 4 on 4th down conversions. See what they can pick up here. And nothing is picked up, but it's a trick play.
Wow.
And the handoff was to number 18, who gets tackled just before the sticks, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
That was Plymouth 19, Joe D.M. Bruoso, I believe there, who made the tackle. It seemed like Broncos ball carrier maybe had a path to get that first down, but D.M. Bruoso was there to make the stop. That is a huge play. Bobcats take over now, and they're going to try to milk this clock down.
Yeah, Morgan Williams was the ball carrier on the trick play. It looked like it was a quick inside handoff or a direct snap. Bobcat football, 10:40 to play, and you're right, Andrew, they are going to hand it off, and they do on that first one to Mom. And just milk this clock now with a 4-point lead. They do have a field goal kicker who is capable of kicking field goals if they get into position to extend it to a 7-point lead, but we've seen him have long drives, as that one in the first half lasted over 11 minutes. Second down and 5 as we approach 10 minutes to play in the game. Brickley in motion, but a false start penalty for an illegal motion. Not sure what the call will be, but it will surely be against the Bobcats. False start is the call. Big break for the Broncos right there, knocking Bobcats back 5 yards. Second down and 10, plus stopping the clock. Bobcats with a second down and 10 from the 19-yard line. Back to pass has Brickley, and he catches it. Second pass of the day from Bannon, and it's a beauty to Brickley, who catches the football and holds on while being hit by 2 defenders, and that's a first down at the 45-yard line.
Really nice throw by Bannon, and Brickley catching it over his shoulder. Nice job by him. He continued his run. Just a perfect throw again by Bannon.
This handoff will go to Mom. He tries the right side, and 4 defenders are there for the Broncos, and a loss of a yard, or maybe no gain. Let's see what they spot it, but now we're inside 9.5 minutes. Bobcats have some breathing room out to the 45-yard line, not back up against their own end zone. And you got to imagine they'll continue keep it on the ground.
The YCN scoreboard sponsor is La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion.
This handoff again goes to Mom. He scampers forward for 11 yards and a first down for the Bobcats.
Nice run by Mom, moving the chains. Now under 9 minutes left to play. If Plymouth can score a touchdown on this drive and take another 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, it's going to make it hard for the Broncos to score down by 2 scores if Plymouth can complete this drive.
Yeah, if you're the Broncos, you got to hold them, obviously, to a field goal or better, keeping it only a 7-point game, and then you can have a chance. If you give up a touchdown, that's not good. Mom with the carry, falls forward, gains nothing, back to the line of scrimmage, and they'll place it down at the 44-yard line. It'll be second down and 10.
I think that was Alvirne's John Porter there, number 77, the senior tackle. He's a big guy, nice job by him.
Second down and 10. Clock moving. We are approaching 8 minutes to play in the championship from Wildcat Stadium in Durham, New Hampshire. Mom gets the handoff, breaks free, wrapped up in the secondary, but not before he gains almost 9 yards. Spotting the ball at the 44-yard line, third down and 2.
Today's telecast is being brought to you in part by MJ Harrington, jewelers and designers in Newport, New Hampshire. If you enjoy YCN's local content, make sure you check out YCNnow.com to view and share these videos anytime you want. Also, give us a like on Facebook.
3rd and 2. His handoff goes to Brickley. He's got enough for the first down, and he's got more, but the ball is loose. They are going to say he was down, though, before the ball popped out. For a moment there, the Broncos thought they caught a break, but Brickley gets enough yardage for the first down, and that'll be 1st down and 10 from the 28-yard line. Clock stopping here. And Plymouth is going to call a timeout. We'll take one as well. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
1st and 10 for the Bobcats out of the timeout. And the handoff up the middle, another 4-yard gain. Andrew, this is what this Plymouth team thrives on. They love keeping it on the ground, gaining 4 to 6 yards a carry, keep that clock moving.
Yeah, well, Plymouth's head coach Chris Sanborn, he has confidence in his running backs to not fumble the ball. I know Brickley had a fumble on the opening kickoff return, but really Mom and Brickley and a number of other guys have really good ball control and possession. And Chris Sanborn has confidence in his guys that they'll get the job done. Just stick to the ground.
That handoff goes to Mom as the fake Brickley's the up man kind of decoy. Broncos have yet to figure out how to stop both of these guys. They have really had a good day with Brickley at 137 rushing yards and Mom at 124. So 260 yards total for those two rushing. And the 3rd and 3. 6 minutes to go in the championship in regulation. Brickley off the right side. He's got the yardage. He's got the first down. And the Plymouth fans can sense it. Still plenty of time, but this offense continuing to move the chains and continuing to pick up first down after first down while keeping the clock moving.
Yeah, Owen Brickley is just so good at, once he gets stopped, he's so good at accelerating once again and picking up the extra yardage. Exactly what happened on that play. Owen, one of the captains of this team, he would love to end his senior year with a championship, which I believe would be his 3rd championship.
Plymouth, the 2-time defending champs. Brickley now taking the snaps, and he's carrying it out to the right side, and the keeper. So he has taken the last couple snaps, I believe. Quarterback is still in there. Cody Bannon.
It'll be a 2nd down and 9. Ball at the 14.
2nd down and 9 inside 5 minutes. Broncos have really got to come up with a stop here. Because if they give up a touchdown and make it, and it becomes a 2-possession game, they're going to have only about 4.5 minutes at most to score twice. And although their offense looked good in the first half, who knows if they can keep it up. They haven't really started so well in the second half, as we see Mom again falling forward for another handful of yards, bringing up 3rd down and 4.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, serving brick oven pizza and much more. And next week's YCN Game of the Week will be replaying one of our best matchups of the season as we replay Middlebury hosting Burlington. That game will premiere next Saturday at 7 and 6 p.m. on WYCU and WYCI.
3rd down and 4. Brickley's going to keep it himself. He gets to the outside. He knows where the sticks are. He gets to the sticks, and that's about all. Gets out of bounds. It will be a 1st down and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. Perfectly, just on the 5-yard line. Perfectly played by Brickley. Gets the first down. Doesn't get the touchdown, so now you're able to run at least another play, maybe 2 more plays. Did get out of bounds, so the clock stopped. It we're still inside 4 minutes, and a touchdown right here might put this game on ice. Handoff on the left side. Ball carrier, his mom, he gains a yard to the 4. That means every extra play that's run is another 30 seconds off the clock.
Yep.
And, if you're the Broncos, you got to start wondering if it's time to let them score. I mean, you never want to do that as a coach. Tell your team, let them score, but you haven't stopped them so far. Are you really going to stop them in the next 4 yards? I don't know. Second down and goal from the 4. That handoff to Mom, and he falls forward for another couple yards, and now we're inside 3 minutes, and worst case scenario, they run all this time off, and then they do end up scoring anyway, and then you're really in trouble if you're the Broncos.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local event televised into YCN's nearly 300,000 TV households, contact us at info@ycnnow.com.
Quarterback keeper, and off the corner, touchdown, Cody Bannon.
This run by Cody Bannon had a couple of blockers, fought through some contact, but got over the goal line. And Plymouth now up by 10. I'm sure they'll make that 11 points coming up. Up by 2 scores, big. Really, Bobcats' offense has been huge, but defense, they haven't allowed a single point to the Broncos in this second half.
This shows the offensive mind of this Bobcats team.
Yeah.
It's not Brickley, it's not necessarily Mom. Even pulling one out there, and the quarterback keeps it. Bannon for the touchdown. The extra point is good. 29-18, is that going to do it? We'll find out when we come back. Can the Broncos mount a comeback? 29-18, you're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 2:30 to play in regulation. Bobcats of Plymouth leading the Broncos of Alvirne 29-18, and the kickoff goes all the way back to the 5-yard line. Penalty flag flies, has some room, hurdles one tackler, and still on his feet. Hudson cutting across the field. Trying to cut back. He's tackled finally at the 45-yard line. Grady Hudson has a penalty flag way back, and it's got to be against the Broncos. And it is going to be an illegal block in the back, all the way back. Broncos season comes down to this. They were 7-2 in the regular season, and in the quarterfinals beat Milford 32-19, beat St. Thomas Aquinas 22-19 last week. Had a man, but just a little bit high. Threw it perfectly over the hands of the defender, but just a half a step short was the receiver. That'll bring up second down and 10.
Yeah, I think the intended target was junior Morgan Williams. But he wasn't able to make the play. Ball just overthrown. He tried to extend, couldn't complete it.
Gora has Bertrand out in the flats, completion there. He's got some speed. He cuts to the corner and outruns a couple defenders, but he'll be pushed out of bounds, but not before he gets a good chunk of yardage up to the 30-yard line. But a flag way back in the backfield, and I think it's going to go against the Broncos. Some players are celebrating, and now another flag comes out. The only player in earshot of the referee was a Bronco player, so that's going to be another penalty.
I was going to say, nice play. Bertrand, of course, even more important, he got out of bounds and stopped the clock. But of course, this flag will bring it back.
And
the call is.
And a player was basically being escorted off the field by the referee, an offensive lineman.
Personal foul on the offense. Half the distance to the ball.
So there's an offensive penalty I believe it was an offensive penalty on the Broncos that went to the half the distance of the goal. And then after the play was over, there was a player who was penalized and he is thrown out of the game.
Wow, yep.
So we'll see if we can sort this all out for you.
Would have been 23-yard pickup.
Yeah, it was a nice play, but now it's all for naught.
Right.
It'll be first down. It's marked as first down and 10 from. Oh, no, that's not correct because it's not first down and 10 from the 30. The referee's explaining this play to the coaches. Can't quite hear what the refs are saying, but either way, the ball is going to be spotted. It looks like it's just across the 3-yard line. Still trying to figure it out here. We don't have an update on what actually transpired. But either way, Broncos have 123 seconds to come up with something. So personal foul against Alvirne on the play, and then an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty knocked him half the distance to the goal. Timeout on the field. We're watching the YCN game of the week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back. 2:03 to play. Championship of Division II. Pass out to the left side. Completed and enough for the first down. We're showing a little bit of a sign of life maybe out of the Broncos, but that clock will start to move once the ball is set and the chains are reset. It'll be first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Gora dropping back to pass, has a man, but it falls incomplete right out of his hands. Brickley was there for the tackle either way. That'll bring up second down and 10, a minute 50 to play.
So I think now is a good time to talk about our HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We're going to go ahead and give that one to Plymouth senior running back Owen Brickley. He had a really good game, picking up 149 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. Also caught 1 ball for 26 yards. Really just a complete game. He was taking some snaps, made that tackle or play there on defense, been big on defense. Just a complete game for Owen Brickley.
So they'll do the halfback pass or the wide receiver pass, but he doesn't end up passing it. He'll keep it and pick up 4 yards before he's pushed out of bounds. So at least it will stop the clock for the Broncos, give them another chance. Daunting task. They have to score 11 points in a minute 44, including going 71 yards on this drive if they want to score a touchdown. Third down and 6. But it's been a hard-fought season. The Broncos 7-2 in the regular season, 9-2 overall. If this is the end, completed there and then running out of bounds. So Broncos putting a nice drive together to try and at least get 1 score and maybe force an onside kick. At least some drama here.
Right. Yeah, Bobcat secondary playing back. They just don't want to give up the big touchdown play. They're content with giving the Broncos a couple of first downs if they can just keep that touchdown off the board. Oh!
But they can't keep running the same play.
Right.
Anthony Velez, he read that one. You could see him coming in from the backfield and secondary and making that play. Looked like he was going to intercept that one, but it falls incomplete. Second down and 10. Second and 10 from the 42-yard line of the Broncos.
Plymouth defense, again, they have not allowed a single point to the Broncos in this second half after giving up 3 first-half touchdowns.
It looked like it was going to be a really high-scoring game after we saw the first half, and a couple broken tackles there from Reagan, and he is able to get inside the 40-yard line and keep the hope alive. If you score here, you give at least a chance for an onside kick.
They still have 3 touchdowns, too, the Broncos.
3 timeouts, yes.
Or, excuse me, timeouts.
Well, they do have 3 touchdowns as well.
Right.
And that's the story of that first half, as we see another completion. That one is Bertrand. the 3 touchdowns in that first half, it looked like it was going to be a back and forth affair. And then all of a sudden out of the locker room, it almost seems like both these teams' offenses stayed in the locker rooms, as we've only seen the 1 touchdown until that last one by Plymouth, so 2 touchdowns in this second half. That ball is just a little wide. It will stop the clock. Third down and 1. Third and 1 here coming up from the 28-yard line. 1:19 to play. If the Broncos can get it in the end zone, at least it'll set up some drama for an onside kick. But they have yet to get a 2-point conversion. They would need to get the 2-point conversion to at least make it a 3-point game. But before that, we have a timeout on the field. 1:19 to play. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back. 1:19 to play. Bobcats trying to hold on. They have an 11-point lead, but the Broncos on 3rd and 1. Gora keeps it himself off the left side. He gets the first down. Stops the clock for the reset of the chains. Trying to at least give the special teams unit a chance to kick an onside kick and maybe make it exciting down the stretch. They can score here. Gora dropping back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket, and that one is almost picked off by Brickley. He had it, and he could see the end zone.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a pick 6. Almost started running before he made the catch. Too bad there for Brickley, but did bat the ball down, of course. That will bring up 2nd and 10.
Great defensive effort by this Bobcats team in the second half, after we talked about it in that first half, where the Broncos amassed 207 total yards. They have 365 total in the game. A much better second half. And that play is incomplete for a 3rd down and 10. Broncos down to the last 2 plays here if they don't pick up a first down. 1:05 to play. (29-18) Broncos had the early lead, 6-0 after forcing a fumble on the opening kickoff. And that pass is intercepted, and to the knee goes the ball carrier, number 20, Hunter Lassard, the senior, and that is going to do it, even with 2 timeouts. Right. Plymouth should be able to just kneel it down, run the clock out, and at least get a first down. That would definitely put it away. So the play was a kneel down, 2nd and 12. Another kneel down is going to do it. Clock will continue to move, but no more plays need to be snapped. And the Plymouth Bobcats will be the New Hampshire Division II champions for the 3rd straight year. They defeat the Alvirne Broncos 29-18 is the final score. A great effort by the Broncos, as Andrew just said. First time in this position. 9-2. Great season, just came up short. On the Plymouth Bobcats side, they've been here before. The game started unexpectedly, fumbling the opening kickoff, but they recovered nicely, scoring the only 2 touchdowns in the second half and winning it 29-18. For Andrew Zerhide, I'm Jeremy Stout. Thanks for watching the YCN Game of the Week.